Hi, welcome to the Power 2 Pod. My name's Andy,
And I'm Jason.
and we are doing our daily 3 and Out show today for Wednesday. And let's just get started with first down. This is going to be our one big thing for the day. My big thing is going to be we have a quarterback change in the Big Ten. Week 3, and it's our first quarterback change. So Northwestern today, head coach David Braun announced in his press conference that Northwestern is making a quarterback change and going to Jack Lounge against Eastern Illinois. He's replacing Mike Wright, who hasn't been impressive over the first 2 games. And with Wash, it's a unknown. He's thrown like 14 passes in college football. He's a redshirt sophomore. And like I said, we don't know much about him. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can get that Northwestern attack going.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting making that quarterback change and see how it plays out for them. My number one big thing is actually looking forward into week 3. Alabama travels to Wisconsin, and they open the line at -16, which I find pretty surprising. Wisconsin can be pretty hostile environment. They really haven't played the best football lately with Luke Fickell and stuff like that, but with Bama coming to town, I feel like -16 is a lot for a road. It's not just down the road. It's up north to Wisconsin. I think they struggled 85% of the game against USF last week, so I think that's a huge number for Alabama to cover on the road this week.
Yeah, it's definitely a big number. But Wisconsin hasn't looked super impressive. And hi, Sammy. Got a visitor on the stream here. Moving on to second down. Second down's where we kind of highlight 2 players. First player I'm going to highlight is Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. The hype came in. He was the top receiver in the high school, coming out of high school. And in his true freshman season, he's off of the bang. He's averaging over 100 yards so far in 2 games. Has 3 touchdowns already, and he's already made a couple highlight catches as well. So Jeremiah Smith is off to a hot start in his true freshman season. The second player I kind of want to highlight is Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola. Put the Patrick Mahomes cosplay aside, which is, getting kind of cringy and all that stuff. He's, for a true freshman, in his first 2 games, he's completing 74% of passes, which is crazy for a true freshman. No matter what the competition is, to be completing that high of your passes as a true freshman is kind of impressive. He's coming off the big win against Colorado. Could really put Nebraska back on the map, especially with their schedule they got this year. They avoid most of the big dogs, and I think they only really catch Ohio State. So with Nebraska, go Big Red, they could be back this year. And, they're one of the blue bloods that haven't really been good since they came over to the Big Ten. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Dylan Raiola can continue to develop and really bring Nebraska to that next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've always kind of been a fan of Matt Rule, and it seems to be he's honed in. He's locked into building this Nebraska team back to contention, and I think that's where they're headed. For my 2 players that I'm gonna call out, the first would be Nate Frazier, running back for Georgia. He's a true freshman. He was ranked the 3rd best running back in this last recruiting class. He actually started for them in the Clemson game because ETN was suspended. He had over 100 purpose yards. He had 83 on the ground and a touchdown. He kind of seen a backseat to ETN in the Tennessee Tech game, but I think he's going to be rotated through a lot of different series and different situational play calls to where you're going to see his number a lot. And I think he adds a lot to that dynamic offense that Georgia's trying to create with Mike Bobo. My second player is revisiting Payton Thorne. I kind of beat up on him last podcast. He had a horrible game last week, but Hugh Freeze came out and kind of had an interview and said, he's our guy. We're sticking with him. They have confidence in him. I don't see where he sees that confidence, but maybe the people behind him are just not showing him anything better that he likes to see. But you think that a quarterback that has struggled consistently and then has that type of game, he had 4 interceptions and, I think he has 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions on the season. It's just not a good ratio. It's not how you're going to win games. So it's surprising to me that Hugh Freeze is backing him as much as he is. Like you said, Northwestern sitting here switching quarterbacks, and they've looked pretty decent as of late, to where Auburn's on the downfall, and they're about to hit rock bottom, and they're still sticking with them. So it was kind of a surprise for me.
Yeah. With how disappointing his plays been, for the head coach to come out and kind of stick with him, kind of tells you all you need to know about that quarterback room. Let's move on to third down. Third down is where we highlight 3 teams. First team I'm going to highlight here is going to be Ohio State, and they're just taking care of business. Through the first 2 games, they had, cupcake schedule. I know it is, but, look at what Oregon did against FCS team, and Ohio State's doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're blowing out teams, and they're looking good doing it. Will Howard's been efficient, with his arm and his legs. They're getting the rushing attack going with Judkins and Henderson. Both had 2 touchdowns this Saturday. And then, they're also getting that third string. James People is also getting going too. So, the rushing game's looking really good. They had 273 yards against Western Michigan this week, and they passed for 410 yards. So, they're racking up the yards, and most importantly, they're staying healthy, and they're taking care of business, which we found out in week 2 isn't the easiest thing to do in college football, no matter who the opponent is. Second team I'm going to highlight is Minnesota. They're coming off the disappointing loss to North Carolina, where they missed the last-second field goal to win that game. So they could easily be sitting 1-0 after week 1, but they came into week 2 0-1 and really struggled on offense against North Carolina. They got Rhode Island in week 2, and Max Brosmer, the quarterback, finally looked like what they were hoping for. Super efficient, 24 for 30, 271 yards, 2 touchdowns. One thing that is concerning for Minnesota is even against that lower competition Rhode Island, they really struggled rushing the ball. They had 38 carries for 116 yards, which is only an average of 3.1 yards per carry. And we kind of know what Minnesota's identity is, or what they want it to be. They want to be that hard-nosed, we're going to run the football and make timely passes. It's kind of disappointing with Rhode Island that they weren't able to run the ball, and kind of raises a red flag for the rest of the season. The last team I'm going to highlight on this daily edition here is going to be Michigan State. Went down to Maryland, got a tough conference road win, sitting at 2-0. In Jonathan Smith's first year, kind of like the ceiling was kind of viewed as making a bowl game, and they're already well on their way going 2-0. They're being led by redshirt freshman Aiden Childs and true freshman Nick Marsh. And then if you watch the games, that K'Ron Lynch-Adams, their running back, he reminds me of Marshawn Lynch. He just runs super angry, and every rush is just like theater. Like he's a bowling ball, and he's fun to watch. The one thing you got to look for with Michigan State is Aiden Childs. He's young, doesn't have a ton of experience yet, so he's making those freshman rookie mistakes. He had 3 interceptions again against Maryland, but one thing he's been really good about is bouncing back from those mistakes. He's really good at, I made a bad play, it's in the past, and coming right back out and leading Michigan State on a scoring drive. So super promising for Michigan State through 2 games. There's going to be growing pains with how young they are at the playmaker positions, but very promising start for Michigan State.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's funny that you said like Ohio State's just kind of coasting through, and it's funny because like I really haven't seen a lot of like news come out, any really highlights. You see highlights of other teams around the nation, and I feel like Ohio State's just kind of in hiding over there. Granted they haven't played anybody great, but you still usually see it's like, oh, they won 70-4, whatever it is, and you just really aren't seeing it. So they're just in their own zone over there in Columbus, and they're sitting pretty at in the top 3. So it'll be interesting. So some of the teams that I'm going to talk about to start it off is Oklahoma. They are hosting Tulane upcoming this week, and I could see Oklahoma possibly losing that game. Tulane has a really tough defense to play. They do a really good job against the pass. I think last week they held Kansas State to 2 and 10 on third down conversion. So they were, they held their side of the ball. And they didn't ended up getting outscored by Kansas State, but Oklahoma struggled last week. They only put 16 points up against a really bad Houston team. So I could definitely see Tulane coming and at least giving Oklahoma fits. If not, they might win straight out. For my second team, I guess it's going to be kind of for both of them. It's Texas A&M at Florida. Graham Mertz is coming back. Billy Napier announced that he's going to be back as a starter. To me, this game is going to dictate both of these teams' season going forward. So I think it's a really big game for them. Texas A&M lost to Notre Dame as a season opener, and then Florida, like I said, Graham Mertz got hurt, so you see DJ Lagway, but they've been struggling. They got beat up by Miami in their season opener. So I feel like this kind of either if you win, it gets wind in your sails and you can get that momentum going forward. If you lose, I just feel it's taken a lot out of the team and the kind of the team spirit and positivity. So I feel like this game will definitely tell you how the team's going to do for the rest of the season. My third team is Georgia. They have to travel to Kentucky, who, like I said, looked really good week 1, really bad week 2. So you really don't know what team you're going to get out of Kentucky. Right now, Georgia is a minus 24-point favor going on the road, so that's huge. But the over/under is only 45. So you got to kind of expect a defensive battle or just at least offensive struggles. I feel like it's always windy in Kentucky for whatever reason, so maybe that is why. But I definitely see Georgia winning. I just hope this isn't a look-over game for them as they have Texas. They have to travel to Texas the following week. So I hope Georgia can stay focused on the task at hand, take care of Kentucky. But I definitely think that the over 45, I think they'll definitely score over that together. But it'll be interesting to see if Brock Vandagriff can throw the ball consistently to his own team.
Yeah, that's kind of key in winning games is throwing it to your team. That'll do it here for our daily edition 3 and Out. Please, like, subscribe, review. Really trying to grow the channel and provide you guys with some daily content that we find interesting, and hopefully you do too. So thanks for watching and have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. Go Dog.